evening all, welcome back to Total Dust, and this is our first post-Fanfest video. So we're going to have a little bit of a chit-chat about Fanfest. We haven't spoken about Fanfest. We did our little Fanfest montage. If you didn't see it, go see it because it's wonderful. It meant a lot to us because it was wonderful. It was fun. We were tourists. We were proper actual tourists for a little bit of it anyway. It was a little bit of business, but mostly the eclipse happened, the Northern Lights happened, and it was lovely. Oh, well, yeah, Fanfest happened. That's something not to forget. So we're going to chit-chat about it today with a little bit less flim-flam, hopefully. Now, I'd like to kind of open this post-Fanfest discussion with a bit of a statement. My statement reads thus: I am a bit of a dick at times. I know, hang on, no, don't try and, say, but Pyrex, you're not. No, I am. I'm a bit of a penis at times. And I think that it's become very evident lately because I had a few conversations, had kind of an interesting dialogue with a couple of Dust players. Admittedly, they were few and far between at Fanfest, and I do mean few and far between. Now, a little bit where Hilmar said, any Dust players in the audience? I think about 4 people said woo, and everyone else was laughing, jeering and cheering, so yeah. Anyway, so we had a bit of a chit-chat, and I've been a bit of a douche. There you go. Statement number 1. I've been a bit of a douche. Meme CO Pyrex 2015. About this game, it is incredibly fun. The jumping isn't as bad as I think it is. I was getting all kind of weirdy-beardy neckbeard kind of super serious New Yorker on it, saying, well, it's not fitting with the genre. Are they dumbing down, etc.? And yeah, they are, but to be honest, ugh. I've got to admit, I've rethunk my position on a lot of this, in that, to be honest, they're trying stuff, back off. And that's kind of what I was told, and to be honest, I agree with it. So, hypocrite number 1, Pyrexio, I've got to admit, is there's certain things in the game which I really don't like, but I was a bit of a dick bag to react so badly to them. So I guess, number 1, sorry if that pissed you off. So there you go. I think generally what was interesting, as I returned to my notes, was the first thing CCP or Hilmar said was, the CCP is going through a period of focus, and that's true because, I mean, again, from the business point of view, they're no longer controlling shareholders, so that means others can control the board, and when you control the board, you control the company, so that's pretty evident, but it's all for the good. I think what they're doing is, doing away maybe with elements that they don't need, which is a shame. Nobody's ever expendable, let's be clear on that, but sometimes you're just not going to go in a direction, so there's no point going further in that direction. So that certainly seems to be going on. They're trying to do less hype and certainly deliver on what they say they're going to do, which again is a great thing. I did see a lot of hype at the Fanfest. All of that Valkyrie stuff was very hyped, but it looks like they're going to deliver it, so time will tell. They also mentioned that Legion is still not greenlit. If you didn't catch that bit, go and look at it. It's in the very first introduction piece. He talked about the campaign to get Dust greenlit. And what was evident, and this is where you do need to be very aware, let's say, is the focus of CCP is on VR exclusively now, with the exception of EVE, obviously, because that's their long-established product. The reality is at the Fanfest, you just saw booth after booth and focused group after focus group based upon VR, which is excellent. That's it was done very professionally as well. I must totally admit I was blown away by how professional they were. So, after you finished, there was a series of questions. It wasn't just a free go. It was actually a discussion and a discourse on what you thought, and obviously what they're presenting is stuff that is effectively what's going on in Shanghai, and it's also what's going on in Newcastle. So a little bit of Valkyrie, certainly a bit of Project Nemesis, which certainly seems to be what Shanghai's working on. These are interesting times, but I think the one suffering party in this is probably going to be Dust a little bit, because call me stupid, but I think they had a whole Fanfest where they really only did one session for Dust per se. There was a bit of community stuff as well, but it was a little bit difficult, let's say. I feel very, very sort of proud of this game. Let me explain that, because I honestly feel that this is kind of like an forgotten product a little bit with CCP. It's not forgotten, but I'm trying to articulate it. It feels like it's just not a focus at the moment. Yes, they're not forgetting it. I'm sure that Legion will come, but again, I think it might be some time. They're making Dust better though, and I've got to admit, the one person who was quite impressive from the video that I saw, and just to be clear, I didn't go to the Dust keynotes. There's a funny story about that. We went to the wrong bloody room. We actually went next door. So as we walked in, we sat down and we were like right in the front row thinking, okay, I don't know any of these people. And I was looking around for Keevil because he had his Dust uniform on. I thought, well, if he's in here, then it should be Dust. And I was looking around thinking, well, where is he? And I sort of sat down and thought, bugger, I got the wrong room. So because we're British, we were very polite and we didn't want to kind of just get up and walk out, because that would have just been like, dude, you're boring, we're not interested, we're going. And I just didn't want to do that. So I'm sat there and we, basically Trouble and I were just sort of texting each other saying, I bloody hope they don't ask us a question because I have no idea what they're talking about. So we missed it, but what we did is, as we left, because again eventually it moved to question, as we left we then walked past the room, which was I think Jita, and we saw that they were all coming out anyway. So it was like, oh, okay, so we missed that. So sorry guys, I completely missed the Dust keynotes. I did watch the video though. I think one of the CPM recorded it and I did have a look at it, which was awesome. So thanks to them for that. I got to admit, I was kind of impressed with Ritati. I know I've been a little bit of a douchebag about that guy sometimes, because when you don't agree with someone's design principles, you're just going to be a bit of a, you're going to be vocal about it, aren't you? But I've got to admit, the one statement that really stuck in my mind that was uttered to me was, they're not making the game for me, they're making the game for everyone. And that to me was really quite profound, because they are right. Just because I don't like jumping, even though I do it, but even though I don't like it, it doesn't mean that I have the right to then sit there and get all butthurt about it. That's just the way the game's gone, and you have to deal with it, because this isn't a game made privately and exclusively for just one person. It's a game made for a whole community, for the community, and you have to kind of accept that there's not always going to be your interest represented. So I'd like to kind of just say sorry. I thought it was a very good, the last few games we've had though have been very fun, and you'll see now as we switch to our I guess our plasma cannon jumpy suit, it is fun and we do have a lot of fun with it. So from now on in this video, enjoy what is effectively a load of jumping around being a knob. Anyway, so back to our notes. So I think generally what was quite impressive, if you like, was just, I think, the focus and dedication from the CPM. I really just want to give I know people are going to hate me for this, but I just really want to give a shout out to them, because from what I could tell, they really were flying the flag for this game. I only went into the PvP room a couple of times, and they were I saw a group always on the consoles, which was great. I didn't announce myself. If many people were kind of trying to figure out where I was and if I was there or not. There is a reason why we don't announce ourselves, and I guess I should just explain why. It's because we work in a pretty hostile, high energy, high pressure environment, both Trub and I, and as soon as we are identified, the reality is people will use that against us. So sadly, we've always done this thing. We don't want to be famous. We're really ugly as well. Well, Trub isn't. I am. I'm phenomenally ugly. I'm like the elephant man on steroids, literally. You just wouldn't want to see a picture of me. So we just decided when we started this channel, it's not about us, it's about the game. So, and I know that's a horrible kind of cliche YouTuber knobhead bollocky thing to say, but it really is. We never wanted to be famous, and we don't want to be famous. We do these videos as an artistic outlet and a bit of fun. We have no interest in our names and faces being recognized. So there we go. We even bought our own Fanfest tickets, just to be clear. We didn't ask CCP for anything, because we're not like that. We just literally said we want to show support and we want to enjoy the event. Admittedly, we only went to about 5 or 6 sessions. The rest of the time, we were being flipping tourists. And I can tell you what, if you ever do think to yourself, well, the only reason I'll go to Iceland is because of Fanfest, then do yourself a little treat. And let me give you a bit of a word of advice. Fanfest is brilliant, and I do mean that. Even when there's not much spoken about Dust, which there wasn't, it was still really fun to see effectively a fun games developer who have a real kind of culture about them. It was fun to see a group of players who are kind of nuts, and it was really fun to see a group of people who were just wanting to have fun. Plus, you're doing it in a country, which is amazing. So we went to the keynotes, and then on the next 2 days, we dropped into what we wanted to see, which wasn't much. But what we did is we went and became tourists, and Reykjavik is beautiful. The Northern Lights were just life-changing. It was absolutely gorgeous. If you've never seen the Northern Lights, I recommend it. I really do. And obviously the main reason we went was because of the eclipse, and the eclipse was basically a 2% eclipse. It wasn't the crappy kind of 14 or 15% one in the UK, which was overcast anyway. So I'm really glad we went. I really, really am. I think it was wonderful, and I think definitely if you're considering it, then make a holiday out of it. Take your loved one or your group of mates and go and see effectively a beautiful country and a fascinating, fun game and their developers. And I think just go and enjoy yourself. And I heartily recommend you do that, because that's what we did. We combined it into a 4-day event, and my God, it was fun, and I will never forget it. Right, that's my money with Iceland Tourism Board sorted out. Let's talk about the game a bit more. The one thing that really annoyed me was there was so much merchandising. That was probably the one thing I really wish they hadn't done. And it was merchandising from last FanFest. So they showed us that flipping Nix again, which frankly they showed us last year. So that was a bit crap. They showed us the book again. So there's yet another Art of Eve book. It's kind of annoying. But I think after everything's said and done, the reality is Dust isn't going anywhere. I don't think Legion's going to come anytime soon. I think that's now pretty clear. I think you won't see Legion for a few years now, if I'm honest, because Rouge is now actually, if you look at his job title, he's now the managing director of the Shanghai studio. He's not the executive producer of Legion or Dust. He's not. You look at his job, that's it. And that's great, because that means he and his vision will make fantastic games coming out of Shanghai. Really excited about that. I think Ritati is absolutely the right person to drive this game forward. He's already done great stuff, and I'm going to be less critical of it, because again, it's a game for everyone, not just for me. Hope you enjoyed that. More to come soon.